we want to talk about the great Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. As you know, I've said it many and many a time, the greatest 100-meter athlete ever, back-to-back at the Olympics, including a silver medal, a bronze medal, more Olympic medals than anybody over 100 meters. And to add to this illustrious career over the World Championships, all in a record number of 100-meter titles, including winning after giving birth, which is amazing. And so I want to start with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. She opened up her season over 100 meters this week in what I would say, and I think everybody would agree, in a convincing 10.82 seconds. It's an excellent win for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce because there is no doubt that with the injuries, right? So it's a late start to her season this year. They've been managing her. She had that injury when she went to, I think, the Kipkeino Classic. I had to pull out of that, if memory serves me correctly, all the way back in May. And there was a need for them to manage her. And we saw her most recently at the Jamaica National Championships, where she competed over 200 meters, running 22.2, looking very good, looking sharp. And when we saw her open up this week in Luzern, 10.82, the start wasn't anything that we're used to from Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. It wasn't a start for her, but once she got into her running, she separated from the field, separated from Hobbs, and it was stunning, I thought, because, you know, not a lot of wind there. I think it was a 0.3. I have to check that again, but the wind was negligible. It was almost still right there, and I really think that they will look at that race and feel confident going into Budapest. You have to think that there was some level of trepidation with the start. You know, it's the first 100-meter race. She hasn't been running, and so she's race rusty. So you take that into consideration, race rusty. I imagine when you come back from an injury, you wonder if your body is ready, right? You might be training, you're doing everything right, you're following doctor's orders, the physios, all that type of protocol. But then you get into a competitive environment and you don't necessarily trust your body. Even if you trust your body, your mind doesn't really connect the right way. It takes some time for an athlete who's recovering from injury to truly trust themselves. And that's for anybody who may have suffered something walking down the street. Your semi-pro athletes, your regular folk like me and you. You know, I ruptured my Achilles. It took me 12 months before I really felt like I could play football again and not think about it, even though I was healthy and doing the right thing. So there was a level of trepidation, I think, for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce at the start, but she gets there. And so if you were to say all things being equal, if she was in fine form, if you got the kind of start that we're used to or accustomed to, certainly not one of her greatest starts, even if she didn't were to deliver that. But if she delivered a start that we'd say, yeah, that's a Shelly start, that would be probably a 10.7, a mid 10.7 race. And so if you open up at this time of the year with that, you must feel confident going into the World Championships that you'll be in fine form. And I don't think they'll be worried about what will happen. So barring anything here, I think Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is good. As long as she doesn't pick up any other injury, from now on, maybe a couple more races, fine-tune herself, I think she would be good. So it's about building confidence from here, if I were to put it in that perspective. And then when you couple that with her vast experience, no woman has done what she's done in terms of being around, running consistently fast that long, knowing what it's like to run sub 10 sevens all the time. So I think that sets her up. And I'm going to say it because I like to go on record early. I've been wrong from time to time. But here's what I'm going to say. I think that based on what I've seen just this past week, how she ran beautifully well at the Jamaica National Championships behind Shericka Jackson, I think Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce will get a medal at the World Championships. I don't know exactly what color the medal might be. Right now, it's still a little bit too early for me to stick my neck out on this. But I think I've seen enough to say that she'll be on the medal podium. And I've said this before, you know, I had a video earlier this year The beauty and the brilliance about this woman is, can you beat her? Yes, I've said it, it's possible to beat her. Can you take her off a medal podium? That's another thing. And I don't think you can take her off the medal podium. I think, given her state of mind, I think she will be in the right shape.